Welcome back. And the trade by barter phenomenon is actually in Oja Jebo, a market in Makuomi community in Ogun Waterside. However, one unique feature of this market is that goods could still be exchanged by barter. It is part of the many cultural practices that have stood the community out and forms the focus of our community report tonight. Our correspondent Chris Elms visited and now reports.
Welcome to Makuomi, the last of Ijebu town on land in Ogun Waterside. It shares boundaries with Atijere in Ondo, Lagos to the west, and Ijo Arugbo to the east. The people here are predominantly into logging, fishing, and other trading activities. However, every 9 days, this sleepy town comes alive, and the Oja Jebo market takes center stage.
The market wasn't in existence until luck fell on us in this community, and those who normally come from Lagos State, from Ondo State, through our lagoon here, got stranded one time.
Traders with their wares arrive from various parts of the country by land and water.
It's 5 p.m. where businesses are closing down in other climes. For these people, it is just about beginning. And the interesting part is that some of these goods will be traded by barter.
When transactions begin, food items such as gari, fish, plantain are used as means of exchange.
Those people at the riverine area, they don't have much of this gari thing. So they will bring their gari, they will bring their fish in exchange for gari. They will bring fish in exchange for gari, and life goes on like that.
The traders make calls by announcing what they need and what they have in return. When intent or interest is shown, the process of negotiation is initiated. The process seems quite interesting, so I tried my hands on exchanging plantain for fish.
Okay, now she's not ready to.
Finally, I got a buyer.
No, I thought I could buy a full basket with just one. It's too small. All right, thank you. This is the much I could exchange with my plantain. That is trading by barter.
It's getting really dark, and the rules prohibit trading activities between midnight and 4 a.m. The sound of chirping birds and croaking frogs usher in a new day, and preparation for a boat regatta known as Okoshi is in progress in Makuomi. It's a celebration of the feats of their forebears, who were great hunters and warriors. The story of Makuomi would have been perfect if they had good roads, electricity, or even potable water. These are all luxury items they cannot exchange by barter. While means of exchange may have since gone through various stages, this Ogun Waterside community has preserved a cultural practice that will continue to strengthen their bond of unity and friendship. Chris Elms, Channels Television News.
Well, let's now take you to the ancient practice of trade by barter, also viable means of exchange at Esukumba Market in Cross River State. The market itself is a relic of the slave trade era, and money is not a hindrance to getting good deals on goods such as fresh food items. Our correspondent Imani Ode reports.
Every Saturday morning as early as 6 a.m., buyers and sellers come from far and near to Esukumba Market in Akpabio local government area of Cross River State, where all sorts of wares are on sale right from the entrance. The commodities at the market are different from what used to be traded here centuries ago. Formerly the point of no return for slaves, this is now an access route for people coming from Bakassi, Cameroon and other West African nations by sea. The former slave market has become a vibrant market, retaining an ancient practice of trade by barter. Most of the transactions are done by exchanging one commodity for another. This is especially popular among farmers and fishermen who exchange what they have, such as seafoods, fruits, vegetables, oil, and other produce to meet their demands.
You can do everything here. All the people there for that water side, the Gary fish come this place, come correct something.
But for non-farmers and traders, their purpose here is to purchase fresh farm produce at rock-bottom prices.
I am not a farmer, so I don't have farm products to exchange, so I am coming to buy.
The existence of such an ancient form of trading is linked to the community's remote location.
It still baffles me that even up to this 21st century, that kind of trade is still going on in some places like Akpabio.
The community may be isolated, but the dwellers and visitors are not unaware of the need for better infrastructure and the impact it would have on the market.
Government to improve this market. The market is so poor.
The Esukumba market, located in this community of Akpabio, is one that should ordinarily draw government's attention to the community, as it says it lacks basic amenities. It is hoped that when next Channels Television visits this market, and of course the community, it will be wearing a new look. Imani Ode, Channels Television News.
And you can take a look at those stories, our community report on our YouTube platform, youtube.com/channelsweb. Elsewhere, the Department of Petroleum Resources, Gombe Field Office, is asking the government, other relevant bodies and public-spirited individuals to come to the aid of victims of 2 petroleum tanker accidents. Following assessment of the accident which occurred last month, the State Controller of Gombe DPR Field Office, Abdullahi Abawa, says a lot needs to be done to avert a future occurrence.
April the 13th, 2019, a fallen oil tanker spills its content, which is premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol. Some residents of the Gombe state capital put their lives on the line, scooping the highly inflammable substance. Moments later, it ignites, incinerating 11 people beyond recognition, while 5 died in hospital. 4 days later, on April the 17th, another accident involving a tanker, this time laden with diesel. It crashes into a car, squashing it and killing its 2 occupants. Both incidents are blamed on brake failure. Some of the survivors of the tanker fire are still battling for their lives at the Federal Teaching Hospital in Gombe. And now, following an assessment of the situation, the Department of Petroleum Resources Field Office in Gombe is seeking an end to tanker accidents and calling attention to the plight of the victims.
So we are calling on NNPC to find a mechanism or way of responding to quick response, to incidents like this.
Indeed, petroleum tanker accidents have been responsible for many deaths and destruction of property, mostly from the resultant blaze when the spilled contents are ignited. Hopefully, proactive steps will be taken to prevent this from happening again while the victims get the much-needed help.
Still in the north, the chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee for Eliminating Drug Abuse, retired General Buba Marwa, says the fight against drug abuse is a collective effort and everyone has a role to play. General Marwa is also offering assurances that President Muhammadu Buhari has the political will to stamp out the menace decisively. He was speaking to journalists after an advocacy visit to Adamawa State.
Since the establishment of the Presidential Advisory Committee for Eliminating Drug Abuse in December last year by President Muhammadu Buhari, the committee has been touring the country, meeting with stakeholders in its effort at finding solutions to the problem of drug abuse and its related effects on the society. This working tour offers the committee the opportunity to interface with key stakeholders across the state, such as government and security agencies, traditional and tertiary institutions, secondary schools, regulators, youth and women groups, NGOs, and religious bodies, beginning with secondary schools.
Even the people taking the drug themselves know they are harming themselves.
General Marwa states the purpose of the interface and what they intend to achieve.
Why we are here today is mainly to hear from you. After the advocacy, which is to encourage the sermons to brethren and sisters to say no to drugs and avoid taking drugs, which is a killer, destroys people, helps no one. We don't want to sit in Abuja there and write a report. We want to hear from across the Nigerian societies what you think, what are your own opinions and views and options and suggestions.
Representatives of some of the groups speak on the effects of drugs to the society and challenges in the fight against it.
When I was in Abuja, behind police station, there is a place they sell drugs. Every day the police will go there and take taxes on them. Please, this security agents, if the government don't handle security agents seriously, all what we are doing here will not help us.
Politicians, they are not making things better for our youth. They refuse to employ them and they keep them in order to use them as trucks. By giving them drugs and giving them money to go and buy drugs.
At the end of the interaction with all groups, General Marwa says there are issues of inadequacies in some areas and praises in others. Speaking to journalists after the meeting, General Marwa describes the advocacy interactions as impressive.
It's a successful visit in Adamawa State. We're happy as a committee. We've picked a few things, and these will be collated along with what others in this committee have brought from across the country to put final touches.
Other members of the committee are also replicating the advocacy to other parts of the country, at the end of which it is expected that lasting solutions to the drug abuse problem confronting the country will be found.
And now to the arts. Contemporary artist Sunday Lanre shows off his recent works of art at the National Museum in Lagos. On Art Review tonight, we'll look at the subject he's exploring in his solo exhibition.
He first took the internet by storm when he created a 6x4 feet work of Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, using over 1 million beads on board, a piece that took him 6 months.
The reason why I make this piece is because Mark Zuckerberg creating those platforms, the social media platform, has really helped my artistic career. And I believe it's not only my own career only. It has helped a lot of artist friends as well and people, to explore and also to showcase their talent on the internet. Like putting my works on the social media has really helped me, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from people telling me that, oh, your work is nice, your work is beautiful. That has encouraged me, and that kept me going.
But now, contemporary artist Sunday Olaniran is showing the audience a deeper side of him at the National Museum in Lagos.
The Osagacity, talks about how to respect people in the society, how to value what you have around your environment. And not only that, it talks about dignity, it talks about hard work, it talks about tenacity and perseverance. Most especially the medium which I use, which is the bead, talks about patience.
But he brings more than just his beadworks to this solo exhibition. Paintings, craft, and sculpture are in the offering.
No matter any works of art an artist want to create, nature had it first because God created everything beautiful. And we as an artist, He created us to also create something beautiful, not to cause chaos to the society, but to promote friendship, promote love, promote peace. And that is why, I look around my environment and I see what God has created. From there, I'm able to develop my own skills and talent, and that has helped me a lot. So my inspiration is from nature.
Sunday Olaniran is a multimedia artist who has been sharing his knowledge with others.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Arsenal and Manchester United's top 4 EPL hopes vanish after failing to secure wins today. That's in sports news. Please stay with us.